Lord, listen closely to me and answer me, because I am poor and in need. Guard my life because I am faithful. Save your servant who trusts in you. You, my God. Have mercy on me, Lord, because I cry out to you all day long. Make your servant's life happy again, because, my Lord, I offer my life to you. Because, my Lord, you are good and forgiving, full of faithful love for all those who cry out to you. Listen closely to my prayer, Lord. Pay close attention to the sound of my requests for mercy. Whenever I am in trouble, I cry out to you, because you will answer me.
Well, goodness sakes alive, it sure is coming down out there.
What's coming down, Nancy?
Well, snow, of course. What else will be coming down on Christmas Eve?
Tonight's not Christmas Eve, is it?
Well, of course tonight's Christmas Eve. Lord, how can you even ask such a question like that?
I don't pay much attention to the days anymore. One just sort of comes as the next, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's no way to be. You should be at home with your family.
If I wasn't here, Nancy, there would be no one to talk to you. Now, isn't that so?
Well, I suppose.
May I get you something?
Just a glass of your finest. I can't stay up too long. I have to get up early in the morning to make some more stewed prunes for Christmas dinner tomorrow night.
Stewed prunes for Christmas dinner?
Yes, it's a family tradition. My mama taught me how to make them when I was just a little girl. My family can't get enough of my stewed prunes.
I bet.
Ugh, how much for the drink?
Well, seeing as it's a holiday and all, it's on the house.
Well, that's awful nice of you. And stop calling me Nancy. I sound so old. Call me what my nephew calls me.
What's that?
Nanny.
Okay, well then, Nanny. Seeing as it's Christmas Eve, why aren't you with your family?
They're all coming over tomorrow. Tonight it's just Sam and me.
Oh, how is Sam?
He's still a clean-cut, church-going, God-fearing man if there ever was one.
Sam was always a good man.
He might have sounded good, but he wasn't.
And why is that?
He was the most boring human being to be put on God's green earth. Can you believe he wanted me to keep quiet all the time? He believes women should be seen and not heard. Oh, Lord, asking me to keep my mouth shut is like asking me not to breathe.
Sam's dead, isn't he, Nanny?
Well, I really shouldn't talk about it.
Why? There's not anyone here, and I'm certainly not going to tell anyone.
Well, all right. But understand, I wouldn't tell you if it wasn't so funny. It's terrible, really, but also very funny.
Well, now you've got my attention.
That husband of mine loves stewed prunes. I mean, of all the food in the world, he loves stewed prunes more than anything. And, well, I make one wicked batch of them, so he requested them almost every week.
Once a week?
Oh, let me tell you. Sam was the most regular man there ever was. And I couldn't take much more of that boring regular man, so I decided that things needed to change.
And how did things change, Nanny?
Well, I waited until Christmas Eve and I made a big pot of them stewed prunes. Sam's favorite. And then, after they'd been cooking for a while, I went down to the cellar and looked around for some strychnine we kept for killing rats. And while I was looking for it, I thought to myself, rat poisoning for a rat. Oh, and then I goes back upstairs and put a whole lot of it in them stewed prunes. And I mean a lot of it.
It seems to me that you really wanted to get rid of that man, Nanny.
Oh, it would appear that way. I put a lot of that strychnine in them stewed prunes for that rat husband of mine, and after a few minutes, he comes downstairs after sitting on the crapper for the last hour, And then he says to me, my, Nanny, stewed prunes for Christmas Eve. And then he sits his big crap-making butt down in one of the kitchen chairs and starts eating them prunes like they was escargot.
And what did you do while he ate them?
Well, I couldn't have told him I'd poisoned them. And even if I did, I seriously doubt he would have stopped eating them. So I just stood there in the kitchen, watching Sam eat like there was no tomorrow. And I giggled. Can you believe it? I giggled while my husband was eating stewed prunes like there was no tomorrow. And I guess for Sam, there was no tomorrow.
Now, Nanny, tell me what happened after your husband ate those poisoned prunes.
Well, he got done eating his prunes and he told me he didn't feel very good.
I bet not.
And then he started convulsing.
And what happened next?
Well, he finished his prunes and he told me he didn't feel very good. And I asked him, well, Sam, what's wrong? And he said, well, Nanny, I think there's something wrong with them stewed prunes. And I told him, I said, well, of course there's something wrong with them prunes, you idiot. I poisoned them. Oh, it's terrible, really. But I just can't stop laughing. I probably stood over his lifeless body for an hour just giggling to beat the band. That was earlier this evening, and I bet that clod is still lying there on my clean kitchen floor.
Nanny, that was one hell of a story.
Well, it's terrible. It's a terrible story, and I'm a terrible person for telling it, but I just can't help laughing when I think of his body sprawled out like it was.
I won't tell anyone, Nanny.
Oh, good. I'm hoping I can make it look like an accident, a terrible, terrible accident.
You should be able to fool the authorities.
Well, I hope so, but I don't know how I'm gonna keep a straight face when I talk to them. I'll just burst out laughing. I know I will.
I wouldn't worry about that, Nanny.
Well, it appears it's past my bedtime.
Then I guess you better be getting to sleep then.
Yes, I guess I better. There's something familiar about your face. It's almost as if I've seen you before.
You're very perceptive, Nanny.
I've seen you before, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
And I'll see you again.
Very soon.
Who are you?
I don't think you want to know that, Nanny.
Who are you?
You don't want to know.
What's your name?
You don't want me to tell you that, Nanny. You might not like what you hear.
What is your name?
I think it's about time you get to sleep now, Nanny. As I recall, you have to be up to make stewed prunes for Christmas dinner. You wouldn't want to disappoint your family now, would you?
No. No, I wouldn't.
Annie,